Hey Harry, my name is Micah Collins, and in this video, I'm going to show you all the 3 things that y'all can do today to help bring in more customers to your business every single month. So most likely you're sitting there asking yourself, why would I be doing this and what's in it for me? Well, the answer is that oftentimes in the world of the internet, most local business owners are simply too busy running their business to learn how the internet can benefit them and their company. Sometimes the only hesitation they have to hiring someone is they don't know who is an expert and who isn't. So I have found that by giving people an easy, free attack plan of actual things they can do to impact their business for free, it has resulted in some of those local business owners still raising their hands at the end and saying, you know what, I like you, Micah, why don't you just do all this for me? So if by the end of this video you liked what you've heard and you can see that I have a whole lot of tricks up my sleeve that can help impact your business, just shoot me a quick message and we can chat. Or if you simply want to take this free attack plan and implement these things yourself, I'm totally cool with that, whatever works for you. Alright, so now let me show you the 3 things that will set your company above your competition, not waste any more of your time or mine. So the first thing I want to go over with you today is your content. Now, most business owners know that they need content on their website, which is everything you see highlighted right here. All of these words and what the pictures are saved as and such as that. Now, most business owners know that they need content, but don't know that the average length of the #1 result on Google for plumbers is 500 to 1500 words of content on the home page. So for you to show up consistently on the top of Google, you need to have at least 500 words, I'd say more like 1,000, on your homepage with the right keywords. Right now your site only has about 244 words right here on your home page. So now let's check out your competition. These guys have around, let's pop it over here, 476 words of content on their website. They're beatable, they've just put in a little more effort with their content. Now this is a little tool I use called Ahrefs. It runs me at about a few $100 a month, but essentially it gives me behind the scenes details that Google is looking for when it comes to ranking a site. So I ran a quick scan on your competitor right here, and if I go on the keywords, we can see that they are ranking for, let's pull it up. They're ranking for plumbers Tulsa, which is a 700 volume, and they're on the 2nd position. Tulsa plumber, 350 search volume. That means, when I say search volume, it means what's getting searched every single month. So that's 350 times a month, 700 times a month, 400 times a month for Tulsa plumbers, and they are on the 2nd position. But when we go back to your site, it's not really ranking for these higher volume keywords because you're not optimized for those terms. Alright, whenever I put in your site, if we scroll down, we can see these same key terms that are popping up, but you're popping up on the 2nd page, the 3rd page, and let's be honest, nobody clicks on the 2nd or 3rd page to look for a plumber. Everybody just looks it up, right? And they see the first few ones, and then they pick one of those top 3, and that's the one they go with. So the very first thing you need to do to beat your competition online is to add a minimum of 500 words on your homepage to really just beat them out, because that's what's driving your competitor's business, and it's 100% beatable if you just get that work done. Alright Harry, now check this out. When we Google the #1 keyword here in Tulsa, plumbing Tulsa, we see that the first thing is the ad section. And we all know Google ads are notorious for being a lot of money. They can be good. I use them in shorter spurts, like more seasonal type of, getting in a few extra leads during certain times of the year. It's more, you don't want it as your long-term game because it eats up a lot of budget. Alright, but let's move on to the second thing I wanted to go over with you today, and that is what we call citations. Alright, so if we pull up Williams Plumbing and Drain Service, we can see their name, their address, and their phone number listed right here on Google. That is what we call the NAP, or the NAP. And this NAP gives relevance to your local business to Google. Alright, so you might be sitting there wondering, well Micah, what the heck does a NAP or a citation have anything to do with getting me on this map pack and getting more calls every month? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to show you right here on this little chart right here. If we could see, you can see every single one of these, what we call citations, and you might call directories. Like the BBB, Bing, Yelp, Merchant Circle, Switchboard, Yellow Book, Matchpoint, Hot Frog, and the list just goes on and on for hundreds of these. So the way it works is that Google is looking all across the internet at all these different directories, what we, like I said, we call citations, and it's gathering information about all these different businesses. So the more of these that you have, your name, your address, and your phone number consistent across, the more they place authority into your hands, okay? That kind of makes sense. They don't want to just bump up somebody in the maps that may be a fly-by-night business, right? They want to see that they're consistent across all these online platforms. And right now, you're not ranking in the top 3, and it's because your business name, address, and phone number, or the NAP, is only listed in a very few amount of directories online. And your competition, Williams Plumbing and Drain Service, or any of these others, they have a lot of citations because it's in the Tulsa area. You better bet that they have about 300 or so. When we get more for you than your competitor has, then you start gaining more trust in them from Google, and Google begins pushing you up in the map pack. So you might be asking yourself, well, Micah, how do I do that? It's actually really simple. We use sites like White Spark, Forbright Local that will tell us exactly what directories your competition is listed on. Then we can literally go down their list and match exactly the ones that they have. But Harry, we don't stop there. We don't want to just match your competitor, right? We don't want to just get the same ones that they have. We want to get more than they have. We want to dominate them online. So if your competition has 300 citations, we want to get 350 or 400 just to make sure that it takes them a long time to catch back up. All right, now let's talk about the third thing I wanted to go over with you today, and that is what we call backlinks. This third pillar will really help you dominate on Google and get a lot more calls coming throughout the year, because a huge percent of people even skip the map pack and click on one of the 2 top spots here in the Tulsa area for plumbing. They click on one of these top 2 positions. Right now, you are nowhere on this first page, but this is where you want to be. And to get here, you need what we call authority. So how do you get this authority? Well, it all comes down to backlinks. And a backlink is like when one website links to another website online. So let me try to explain it really simply. So if you think of it like this, if site A is linking to site B, then site A is giving site B some of its link juice or power. It's kind of like a vote of confidence, and in Google's eyes, it passes authority to your website. And the more relevant this site is, the more valuable the link is. So let me give you an example of that. If you get a local blog or an industry type site like a plumbing site listing back or linking back to your site, then that's awesome. But if you are a plumber and you get a link from Pizza Hut because you did a job from them, well, Google doesn't really care because, let's be honest, you don't sell pepperoni, so it has no relevance to your plumbing business. All right, let's hop back over to Ahrefs and see what we can find here on backlinks. It allows you to look exactly behind the scenes of how many backlinks you have and how much your competition has. So if we pull up your site, you have 51 backlinks and you have 17 people on your website every single month. That's not bad, but it's not dominating. It's not getting a whole lot of calls every month. But if we hop over to williamsplumbing.com, they have 405 backlinks and they're getting 1.7 thousand people on their website every single month. You might think 405 backlinks is a lot, but it's actually very beatable in today's world. So now you might be wondering, well, Micah, how do I get these for myself that I can start pushing my website up and getting more calls every month? Well, with Ahrefs, I use a simple method. People make it complicated, but I like to keep everything simple. What I use is called the copycat method. And all I have to do is go back on their backlinks, click this, scroll right down to a backlink, click on that backlink, and it takes me exactly to the backlink that they have. Okay, if I scroll right down here, you can see visit website. That is a backlink from expertise.com that is linking back to their website and giving them power online. So how you get a backlink like this, Harry, is you just go in this top corner, it says get listed, and you just put in your information, and boom, you have the backlink for yourself powering to your site. And you just do that method across all of these links down here. Alright, Harry, so hopefully you can see by now that getting you to the top of Google, it's not magic, it's just a method. And I've shown you that method here today. So now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Micah, this is all great, but I'm more interested in commercial jobs, or I'm more interested in Broken Arrow jobs, or maybe HVAC jobs, plumbing jobs. Well, to tell you the truth, this applies in every single one of those areas, so it does not matter. There's search volume for every single one of these things here in the Tulsa area. So once again, we went over, number one was content, and your front page needs at least 500 to 1,000 words of content on your home page. Number two was citations, and you want to have at least 300 to 400 of those citations to beat out your competition on the Google Map Pack by a landslide. And number three was backlinks, and you need more relevant websites pointing to you guys to show Google that y'all are the authority HVAC or plumbing guys here in the Tulsa area. So I bet you're wondering, well, what now, Micah? Well, you can either go with this information I provided you today and do this on your own, and I'm totally cool with that. However, if you want the most effective route and you want to save yourself the time and the energy of going and getting the backlinks and all that tech stuff, you can just give me a call at 918-260-1694 and we can chat. Once again, my name is Micah Collins and my number is 918-260-1694. Hey Harry, I look forward to hearing from you and hope you have a good one.